Faith is a profound and powerful force, a beacon of light that can illuminate even the darkest corners of our lives. It's more than just a belief, it's a feeling, a choice, and a deeply personal journey that can bring hope, comfort, and unshakable strength in times of need. For countless people, faith is a cornerstone, a steady foundation to lean on. But for me, it's been nothing short of a game changer, a transformative power that reshaped my entire existence in ways I never could have imagined. I've experienced this transformation firsthand, and I'm beyond excited to share my story with you, to open my heart and invite you along on this incredible journey. My story begins at a crossroads, a time when I felt utterly lost and adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Life seemed like a maze with no clear path forward, and I was struggling to find meaning and purpose. I woke up each day feeling like I was just going through the motions, work, eat, sleep, repeat, without any real sense of direction or fulfillment. I was yearning for something more, something deeper that would give my life significance, a reason to keep going. I tried to fill the void with temporary fixes, new hobbies, late nights at work, even fleeting relationships, but nothing stuck. The emptiness lingered, a quiet ache that refused to go away. Those were some of the toughest times I've ever faced. I found myself questioning everything. Why was I here? What was the point of all this struggle? It felt like I was drowning in a sea of my own problems, gasping for air, desperate for a lifeline to pull me to safety. I was reaching out for help, but I didn't know where to turn or who to trust. The weight of my challenges pressed down on me, and I often lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this was all life had to offer. I felt isolated, disconnected, and alone, even in a room full of people. In the midst of this turmoil, a profound sense of emptiness began to grow inside me. It was as if there was a hole in my soul, a void that no amount of distraction could fill. I threw myself into my career, hoping success would bring satisfaction. I sought comfort in friendships and relationships, but they couldn't address the deeper longing within me. I tried new activities, painting, hiking, even cooking elaborate meals, but the joy was fleeting, like chasing a mirage in the desert. I was starting to lose hope, and the darkness felt heavier with each passing day. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed one night, head in my hands, whispering to myself, there has to be more than this. As I looked around, I couldn't help but notice others who seemed to have it all together. They radiated joy, contentment, and a quiet confidence that I envied. I saw families laughing together, friends supporting one another, and individuals who seemed at peace with themselves and the world. What was their secret? How did they find such calm in the chaos of life? I began to ask questions, seeking answers from anyone who would listen. I talked to friends, colleagues, even strangers, hoping to uncover the key to their happiness. I was determined to find a way out of the darkness, to discover a light that could guide me forward. That's when I started exploring different faiths and spiritual practices. I was on a quest for truth, hungry for something that would resonate with my heart and soul. I dove into books, ancient texts, modern memoirs, and everything in between, searching for wisdom. I attended services, from quiet church gatherings to vibrant spiritual celebrations, listening intently to the messages shared. I had long, heartfelt conversations with people from all walks of life, pastors, mentors, friends, and even strangers I met by chance, each offering a unique perspective on faith and purpose. I was open, curious, and desperate to find what I'd been missing. But the journey wasn't easy. There were moments when I felt like giving up, when the struggle seemed too overwhelming to bear. I remember nights when I cried myself to sleep, feeling like I was walking through a relentless storm with no shelter in sight. The doubts crept in. Was I foolish to keep searching? Would I ever find the answers I needed? There were days when I felt exhausted, frustrated, and defeated, ready to throw in the towel and accept a life of quiet despair. The road was rocky, and the obstacles felt insurmountable. I stumbled, I fell, and I wondered if I'd ever see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yet, despite the challenges, something inside me refused to give up. A tiny spark of hope kept me going, urging me to keep searching, keep seeking, keep believing that there was something better waiting for me. I prayed, I meditated, and I journaled my thoughts, pouring out my fears and dreams onto the page. I leaned on the encouragement of loved ones, who reminded me to take it one step at a time. And then, in the midst of my persistence, something extraordinary happened, a moment of clarity that changed everything. It was like a switch had been flipped, a sudden shift that turned my world upside down in the best possible way. One evening, as I sat quietly in reflection, a sense of peace washed over me like a gentle wave. It was a calm I'd never known before, a stillness that settled deep in my bones. In that moment, I felt a presence, a warmth, a certainty that I'd found what I'd been searching for. It wasn't loud or dramatic, it was quiet, profound, and undeniable. I knew, with every fiber of my being, that faith had entered my life, and I was ready to embrace it fully. My heart swelled with a sense of joy and purpose I'd never experienced before. It was as if a weight had been lifted, and I could finally breathe again. I felt like I'd been given a second chance, a fresh start to live differently, to make choices aligned with this newfound clarity. Tears streamed down my face, not of sadness, but of overwhelming gratitude and relief. I was excited, almost giddy, to see what the future held. I remember standing up, looking out my window at the stars, and whispering, "Thank you." The emptiness was gone, replaced by a fullness I couldn't explain. The emotions in that moment were indescribable, pure, raw, and beautiful. I felt alive, truly alive, for the first time in years. I was overwhelmed with gratitude for the journey, even the painful parts, because they had led me to this turning point. I felt like I was walking on air, my steps lighter, my heart freer. I knew I'd been given a gift, a precious opportunity to rewrite my story, and I was determined to make the most of it. I wanted to honor this moment, to live in a way that reflected the hope and love I discovered. That night was a turning point, the moment when I fully embraced faith and watched it transform my life overnight. Suddenly, I saw the world through new eyes. The colors seemed brighter, the air fresher, and the people around me more precious. I started to live with intention, making choices that aligned with my values and my newfound sense of purpose. I began each day with a prayer, a quiet moment of connection that grounded me. I felt a strength I didn't know I had, a courage to face whatever came my way. The days that followed were filled with wonder and excitement. It was like I was seeing everything for the first time, the beauty of a sunrise, the kindness in a stranger's smile, the simple joy of a warm cup of coffee. I was grateful for every struggle, every tear, every moment of doubt, because they had shaped me and brought me to this place of renewal. I started to rebuild my life, piece by piece, with faith as my foundation. I let go of old habits that no longer served me, and I embraced new ones that brought me closer to the person I wanted to be. As I reflected on my journey, I realized that faith had given me a new perspective. It had opened my eyes to the beauty in the world, even in the midst of chaos. It gave me hope when I had none, comfort when I was hurting, and strength when I felt weak. It filled the hole in my soul, giving me a sense of purpose and meaning I'd never known before. I began to understand that life wasn't about avoiding the storms, but about learning to dance in the rain, trusting that I wasn't alone. The positive changes came quickly, almost miraculously. I felt more confident, standing taller and speaking with a quiet assurance. Hope replaced despair, and I started to dream again, believing that anything was possible. I felt a deep peace, a calm that stayed with me even on difficult days. My relationships grew stronger, I listened more, loved deeper, and connected in ways I hadn't before. I pursued my passions with renewed energy, whether it was writing, volunteering, or simply being present for the people I cared about. My dreams, once distant, began to take shape, becoming a reality before my eyes. I won't pretend it was all smooth sailing. There were still challenges, still obstacles to overcome. I faced setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when I stumbled. But with faith by my side, I felt different, stronger, more resilient. It was like having a partner, a guide, and a friend walking with me every step of the way. When I felt overwhelmed, I turned to prayer or reflection, finding comfort in the stillness. I leaned on my community, sharing my struggles and celebrating my victories. Faith didn't make life perfect, but it gave me the tools to navigate it with grace. Faith has been a journey, not a destination. It's been a process of growth, learning, and transformation, a path with twists and turns, highs and lows. There are days when I feel close to the divine, and others when I wrestle with questions and doubts. But through it all, I've learned to trust, to keep moving forward, to embrace the messiness of the journey. It's been worth every step, every tear, every moment of uncertainty, because it's led me to a life I never thought possible. Looking back, I see how faith has given me a sense of purpose and meaning. It's given me a reason to get up in the morning, a fire in my heart that drives me forward. It's provided direction when I was lost, clarity when I was confused, and hope when I was hopeless. It's changed my life in ways I never could have imagined, turning my darkness into light, my despair into joy, and my emptiness into abundance. I'm not the same person I was before, and I'm so grateful for that. If you're reading this, I want you to know that you're not alone. Wherever you are on your journey, whether you're lost, hurting, or searching for answers, there is hope. Faith can transform your life in ways you never thought possible, just as it did for me. It's not about having all the answers or being perfect, it's about taking that first step, opening your heart, and trusting that something greater is at work. I encourage you to explore, to ask questions, to seek out what resonates with your soul. Your story matters, and your journey can inspire others. I'd love to hear from you. Please share your own experiences with faith in the comments below. What challenges have you faced? What moments of clarity have changed your life? Your story has the power to create a ripple effect, spreading love, hope, and transformation to others. Don't be afraid to share it, to be vulnerable, to let your light shine. Together, we can lift each other up, building a community of encouragement and growth. Thank you for joining me on this journey, for taking the time to hear my story. If you'd like to hear more about how faith has impacted my life, or if you'd like tips on starting your own journey, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll be sharing more reflections, lessons, and stories in my next video, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Let's walk this path together, embracing the transformative power of faith, one step at a time. See you soon.